Imaging finding a rare coin so rare it could pay off your house today, we're diving into 10 of the most valuable US coins ever found. Real coins worth hundreds and even millions of dollars or more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss the next rare find. Let's start this.
What if I told you that a single penny, yes, a simple 1-cent coin, could quietly be sitting in a jar, a drawer, or even in your pocket right now, and it might be worth far more than 1 cent? Not a lottery ticket. Not a risky investment. A penny. Specifically, the 1979 no-mint mark Lincoln 1 cent. Before you dismiss it, ask yourself this: when was the last time you truly examined the change you received? What if the coin you ignored yesterday could help fund the lifestyle you've been dreaming about? Let's begin with the reality. In 1979, millions of Lincoln cents were struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and coins from Philadelphia traditionally carried no mint mark during that period. That means a 1979 penny without a mint mark is normal. But here is where the story shifts, and where opportunity begins. Within that ocean of ordinary coins, there exist extraordinary error varieties. And those are the coins collectors compete for. Those are the coins that ignite bidding wars. Those are the coins that transform pocket change into serious money. Now imagine this: it's late at night, you're sorting through an old coin jar you've had for decades. You find a bright, sharp 1979 penny with no mint mark. You almost toss it aside. But something looks different. The lettering seems slightly doubled. The date looks unusually bold. The surface gleams with a mirror-like finish. Could it be a double die? Could it be an off-center strike? Could it be a rare transitional error? What if you're holding a high-grade mint state coin that collectors are desperate to own? Here's where excitement meets urgency. Coin errors are not produced intentionally. They are accidents, mistakes during the minting process. And mistakes in the world of numismatics can mean opportunity. A dramatic off-center strike. A broad strike. A double die obverse. A coin struck on the wrong planchet. These are not myths. They are documented realities in the collecting world of the Lincoln Cent series. And when such errors appear on a 1979 no-mint mark penny in pristine condition, the value can multiply beyond imagination. But let's pause for a second. If pennies were reigning millionaires, wouldn't everyone be rich? That's a fair question. Here's the truth: value comes from condition, rarity, and demand. A worn, circulated 1979 penny is usually worth face value. But a 1979 no-mint mark penny with a dramatic, certified mint error in MS-66, MS-67, or even higher. That's where the market changes. That's where auction houses take notice. That's where serious collectors open their wallets, and right now, demand for high-grade certified coins remains strong in the US market. Why? Because tangible assets, especially rare coins, offer something digital numbers cannot: history you can hold. When investors feel uncertainty, they often turn toward physical collectibles. Coins have survived wars, recessions, and generations. They are portable wealth. They are historical art. They are miniature time capsules. Let me ask you something important. How many times have you searched online, how to sell old rare coins? How to sell coins in the USA? How to make money from coins? From pocket change to millions, is it really possible? The answer is yes, but only if you approach it intelligently and strategically. The first step is awareness. Examine your coins under magnification. Look closely at the date 1979. Study the lettering of Liberty and In God We Trust. Compare the coin against verified examples of double dies and other mint errors. If something looks unusual, do not clean the coin. I repeat, do not clean it. Cleaning destroys value instantly. Think of it like polishing an antique painting. You might think you're improving it, but you're actually erasing history. The second step is authentication. Reputable grading services evaluate coins professionally, assign a condition grade, and seal them in protective holders. Once certified, a coin's credibility increases dramatically. Buyers trust third-party grading. And trust fuels higher auction prices. Now imagine your certified 1979 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is listed in a respected U.S. auction house. Bidding begins. 2 collectors needed to complete their registry sets. The competition grows. The price climbs. This is not fantasy, this is how rare coin auctions work. Scarcity plus demand equals power. And power in auctions often equals maximum dollar results. Here's the emotional truth. Many valuable coins have been accidentally spent, overlooked, or lost simply because people did not recognize what they had. That should create urgency in you. How many pennies have passed through your hands? How many are still sitting in coffee cans, drawers, and old bank rolls across America? Could one of them be a rare error worth thousands, or more? But let's lighten the mood for a second. If you're thinking, I've been buying coffee with rare pennies for 30 years, don't panic. Most 1979 pennies are common. The key is not fear, it's focus. You are not hunting every coin. You are searching for the exceptional one. When you ask how to sell old and rare coins in the USA, the answer depends on strategy. Local coin shops offer speed and convenience, but auction houses offer exposure and competition. Online marketplaces offer reach, but you must understand fees and buyer trust. The highest prices are typically achieved when a coin is rare, certified, and presented to the right audience at the right time. And what about value in auction shops today? High-grade examples of sought-after Lincoln cent errors can reach impressive levels depending on the error type and condition. The phrase, maximum dollar, is not hype when the coin meets the criteria collectors crave: rarity, eye appeal, and certification. The market rewards excellence. Now let's connect everything. You began this video wondering if a penny could matter. You discovered that while most are ordinary, rare error coins from 1979 with no mint mark can command serious attention. You learned that condition is everything. You realize that knowledge separates spenders from sellers. And you now understand that turning pocket change into profit is not luck, it's preparation. Picture yourself months from now. You've sorted your coins. You've identified a promising piece. It's authenticated, graded, and listed in a respected U.S. auction. Bidders compete. The final hammer falls at a price that shocks you. That moment didn't begin at the auction. It began the day you decided to look closer at a simple penny. So here is your call to action. Tonight, open that drawer. Examine that jar. Ask yourself, what am I overlooking? Could this be the coin that changes my financial direction? Could this 1979 no-mint Mark Lincoln 1 cent be more than copper and zinc? Could it be opportunity, from pocket change to possibility? From curiosity to confidence? From a single cent to maximum dollar potential? The journey starts with awareness, grows with knowledge, and rewards those who act. The next valuable coin discovery in America is not guaranteed to be found by a professional dealer. It could be found by you. What if I told you that a single penny, yes, a 1-cent coin you might have ignored for decades, could be the key to unlocking thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars? Not a lottery ticket. Not a risky investment. But a small copper coin quietly sitting in a jar, a drawer, or a forgotten bankroll. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating and powerful story of the 1968 mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin that has shocked collectors, stunned auction houses, and changed ordinary lives in extraordinary ways. Picture this. It's 1968. America is changing fast. The Vietnam War dominates headlines. The world watches history unfold. And inside the historic halls of the United States Mint, a simple penny is struck in San Francisco, carrying the elegant S mint mark beneath the date. That small letter, just one tiny detail, would one day become the difference between pocket change and a financial breakthrough. This coin belongs to the iconic Lincoln 1-cent series, first introduced in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln. By 1968, pennies were no longer silver or rare by default. Millions were produced. But here's the twist, most people only see the date. Smart collectors look for the errors, and that's where your opportunity begins. In 1968, the San Francisco Mint resumed striking proof coins with the S Mint mark. These proof pennies were specially made for collectors, struck with polished dies and mirror-like surfaces. But in rare cases, something unexpected happened. Die doubling. Off-center strikes. Deep cameo contrasts. And in extremely rare situations, transitional errors that sent shockwaves through the numismatic world. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you looked closely at a penny? Not glanced. Looked. Tilted it under light. Checked the mint mark. Examined the lettering in Liberty or In God We Trust. What if the coin in your hand tonight holds a secret that could fund your next vacation, or even your retirement? The 1968 proof penny with strong double die obverse features has commanded astonishing prices at auction. Coins graded PR69 deep cameo by professional services have reached maximum market values in the tens of thousands of dollars, depending on eye appeal, strike quality, and rarity of the error. The difference between a normal proof and a rare error can mean the difference between $1 and a life-changing payday, and here's the emotional trigger most people ignore: fear. Fear of missing out. Fear of having once owned that coin and spending it without knowing. Fear of overlooking value sitting right under your nose. Think about how many pennies have passed through your hands over the decades. Hundreds. Thousands. What if one of them was special? Now here's the excitement. Unlike luxury real estate or complex stock portfolios, coin treasure hunting is accessible. You don't need a finance degree. You don't need insider connections. You need knowledge. Awareness. And action. The San Francisco S Mint mark on the 1968 penny is small but powerful. Under magnification, look for doubling on Lincoln's profile, especially around the date and inscriptions. Look for pristine mirror fields with frosted devices. Deep cameo contrast dramatically increases value. A flawless example graded at the highest levels becomes a trophy piece for elite collectors. And let's pause for a moment. Be honest. If I handed you a penny worth 5 figures, would you recognize it, or would you toss it into a tip jar? That single decision separates informed sellers from accidental losers. This is where urgency enters the story. The rare coin market moves with demand. As more collectors enter retirement age and seek tangible assets, high-grade proof errors are becoming highly sought after. Supply does not increase. These coins are no longer being made. Every year, some are lost, damaged, or permanently locked away in private collections. Scarcity intensifies value. Now imagine discovering one in your old proof set. You send it to a grading service. Weeks later, the email arrives. High grade. Rare error confirmed. Auction houses begin contacting you. Bidders compete. The gavel drops. And suddenly, that tiny coin becomes a serious financial asset. You may be wondering, how to sell old rare coins in the USA and its value in auction shop settings. How to sell old and rare coins safely without being underpaid. How to make money from coins consistently instead of guessing. The answer begins with authentication and grading. Professional grading companies establish trust. Once certified, your coin becomes liquid in the marketplace. Major auction platforms specializing in rare coins create competitive bidding environments that drive prices upward. Reputable coin dealers can also offer immediate purchase options. The key is leverage. Never sell without knowing the true market demand. Research recent auction results. Compare grades. Understand condition rarity. Knowledge creates negotiating power. Let's reset your attention for a second. If pennies were so worthless, why do billionaires collect them? That's not a joke. High-end collectors compete aggressively for top population coins. Condition rarity, where only a handful exist at the highest grade, can push prices dramatically higher, and here's where everything connects. You want financial freedom. You want assets that grow. You want opportunity hiding in plain sight. The 1968 mint mark Lincoln penny represents a powerful metaphor. Small beginnings. Massive potential. Overlooked by the majority. Recognized by the few. From pocket change to millions is not a fantasy, it's a mindset shift. Every wealthy collector started by learning what others ignored. They asked questions. They examined details. They acted while others hesitated. So how do you start today? Go through old proof sets from 1968. Examine any 1968's pennies with magnification. Look for sharp doubling. Seek pristine mirrored surfaces. If you suspect an error, consult a reputable numismatic expert. Consider professional grading. Protect the coin properly in non-PVC holders. Preserve its condition. Then explore auction consignment where competitive bidding can maximize final value. The current maximum market value for a top-tier 1968 South-proof Lincoln Center with rare error and near-perfect grade has reached into the tens of thousands of dollars, depending on confirmed error type and condition. And as demand increases among serious collectors, these high-grade examples remain in exceptionally strong demand. What if I told you that a simple penny, yes, a 1-cent coin, could quietly be sitting in your drawer right now, waiting to change your financial future? Not a gold coin. Not a rare silver dollar. But a humble Lincoln 1 cent from 1984. No mint mark. Ordinary at first glance. Extraordinary under the right conditions. And today, we're diving deep into the 1984 no mint mark Lincoln penny era that serious collectors are chasing with intensity, urgency, and real money on the table. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you truly looked at your pocket change? Not glanced at it. Looked at it. Because in 1984, millions of pennies were struck at the Philadelphia Mint without a mint mark. That was normal for that facility. But here's where things get exciting. Certain 1984 pennies contain rare error varieties that can push their value from 1 cent to hundreds, even thousands of dollars depending on condition and specific error type. And most people never notice. Now imagine this. You're cleaning out an old jar. Maybe it's been sitting there since the 1980s. You see a 1984 penny. No mint mark under the date. You almost toss it back without thinking. But what if that coin carries the famous doubled ear variety? The 1984 doubled ear error is one of the most talked about varieties among modern Lincoln cent collectors. On this coin, you'll notice a clear doubling on Abraham Lincoln's earlobe. It's not machine doubling. It's a true double die error. And collectors pay attention to that. Let's build the tension here. In circulated condition, a normal 1984 no mint mark penny might only be worth face value. But the 1984 doubled ear error in high grade? That's where the story changes. In uncirculated grades certified by top grading services, these coins have sold for hundreds and even crossed into the low thousands of dollars depending on appeal and preservation. And here's the emotional trigger. What if you've had one for years and never knew? Think about the year 1984. Ronald Reagan was president. The economy was shifting. The U.S. Mint was striking billions of cents. Most were copper-plated zinc, not the older solid copper composition. But errors slipped through. And when mint errors slip through on a coin as iconic as the Lincoln cent, collectors notice for decades. Let's pause for a second. Why do collectors care so much about errors? Because errors represent imperfection in a system designed for perfection. They're mistakes that escaped quality control. They are rare survivors. And rarity drives demand. Demand drives competition. Competition drives price. Now let me ask you directly. Do you want to know how to sell old rare coins? Do you want to know how to make money from coins? Are you wondering if your pocket change could become a stepping stone toward financial freedom? From pocket change to millions, it starts with knowledge. Here's what you need to understand about the 1984 no mint mark Lincoln penny. First, verify the date. Second, check beneath the date for a mint mark. If there is no D or des, it was struck in Philadelphia. That alone does not make it rare. But then you examine Lincoln's ear carefully. Use magnification. Look for strong, rounded doubling on the earlobe. If you see clear separation, not just flat distortion, your heart should start beating a little faster, but wait, don't rush to sell it on impulse. This is where strategy separates amateurs from serious sellers. If you believe you have a genuine error, consider professional grading through services like PCGS or NGC. Authentication builds trust. Trust builds bidding wars. And bidding wars build maximum dollar results. Let's talk about current market energy. The market for recognizable modern era coins remains active because they are affordable entry points for new collectors while still exciting for seasoned investors. The 1984 doubled ear is widely recognized, easy to explain, and visually dramatic. That combination fuels demand. Especially in higher mint state grades where red color and minimal marks increase value significantly. Now I want you to imagine auction night. Your certified 1984 doubled ear penny is listed. Collectors across the country are watching. Why? Because quality examples do not flood the market every day. Scarcity within grade matters. The hammer falls. The final price surprises even you. That is how small discoveries become meaningful paydays. But how do you sell old and rare coins in the USA for maximum value? Should you walk into a local coin shop? Should you list online? Should you consign to a major auction house? The answer depends on the coin's verified grade and rarity. Local coin shops offer speed and convenience. Auctions offer competition and potentially higher returns. Online marketplaces offer exposure but require careful presentation and credibility. Here's a humorous pattern interrupt for you. If your coin dealer looks more excited than you are, that might be a sign to slow down and get a second opinion. Excitement in this business is data. Let's connect the dots. You find the coin. You verify the error. You authenticate it. You choose the right selling channel. You create urgency in the listing. You highlight population data. You emphasize condition. Suddenly you are no longer someone casually selling a penny. You are presenting a collectible asset, and here's another key question. How many people ignore pennies every single day? Millions. That's why opportunity exists. Wealth often hides in plain sight. Not because it's invisible, but because it's underestimated. The emotional side of this matters too. For many Americans between 30 and 65, coins are nostalgia. They remind you of childhood, piggy banks, allowances. But now you're looking at them differently. Not as spare change, but as strategic assets. That mental shift is powerful. Fear can also be a motivator. What if you throw away something valuable? What if you sell too cheaply? What if you never check? The solution to fear is education and action. Examine your coins. Separate 1984 pennies. Inspect them carefully. Research recent certified sales. Knowledge removes uncertainty. Excitement builds when you realize that even in a year with billions minted, a specific era variety creates a micromarket of serious demand. Urgency builds when you understand that condition matters and coins can deteriorate if not stored properly. Protect your finds. Use coin flips or holders. Avoid cleaning them. Cleaning can destroy value instantly. And let's talk lifestyle for a moment. No, one penny may not instantly make you a millionaire. But the discipline of learning, identifying, grading, and selling rare coins can evolve into a profitable side venture. Many serious collectors started with a single find. One discovery led to another. Knowledge compounded. Networks expanded. Profits increased. From pocket change to larger opportunities. That's the journey. It's not about fantasy. It's about awareness. The 1984 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny with the doubled ear era represents a perfect example of how modern coins can still carry surprising value when the right variety meets the right condition. So here's my challenge to you. Tonight, before you relax, open that jar. Check those drawers. Look at your 1984 pennies. Ask yourself, could one of these be different? Could one of these be the variety collectors are hunting? Could this small copper coin represent an overlooked opportunity, and when you find something promising, take the next step? Learn how to sell coins strategically. Compare auction results. Talk to reputable dealers. Consider professional grading. Build confidence before you negotiate. Because confidence changes outcomes. In the end, this story isn't just about a 1984 penny. It's about perspective. It's about recognizing that value often hides in ordinary places. It's about taking action instead of assuming nothing is there. And it's about understanding that even the smallest coin in American currency can command attention when rarity and demand collide. What if I told you that a single penny sitting quietly in your drawer right now could be worth far more than 1 cent? Not a lottery ticket. Not a risky investment. Just a simple coin you've probably handled 1,000 times. Today, we're diving deep into the 1987 no-mint mark Lincoln 1 cent, a coin that most people overlook, but serious collectors watch closely. And if you're between 30 and 65, living in the United States, thinking about how to sell old rare coins, how to turn pocket change into serious money, or even how to build wealth from hidden treasures in your home, then this story is for you. Act 1 begins with something ordinary. The year 1987. America was booming, the stock market was roaring, and millions of pennies were struck at the United States Mint. Among them were countless Lincoln cents produced in Philadelphia. Now here's where attention shifts. In 1987, pennies struck in Philadelphia did not carry a mint mark. That means a 1987 penny with no mint mark is normal, but condition and error varieties are everything. And that is where the opportunity lives. Pause for a second. When was the last time you checked the pennies in your change jar? Be honest. Did you ever imagine one of them might hold premium collector value? Most people don't. That's why opportunity exists. The obverse of the 1987 Lincoln cent still carries the timeless portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner decades earlier. The reverse, before the shield design era, features the Lincoln Memorial, a classic American icon. It looks simple, familiar, harmless. And that's exactly why rare high-grade and error examples slip through unnoticed. Now let's build the tension. While billions were minted, only a tiny fraction survive in pristine, uncirculated, near-perfect condition. Even fewer display dramatic mint errors, off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, or striking anomalies that ignite bidding wars. Collectors don't pay premiums for average coins. They pay for excellence. They pay for scarcity. They pay for condition so flawless it feels frozen in time. Imagine holding a 1987 no-mint mark Lincoln cent graded MS-67 or higher. Brilliant red luster. No scratches visible to the naked eye. Razor-sharp details in Lincoln's hair and the memorial columns. That coin is no longer pocket change. That coin becomes a competitive asset in the numismatic marketplace, and here's where excitement builds. In today's collector market, top condition examples and dramatic error varieties can command significant premiums at auction. The highest graded specimens certified by elite grading services have achieved prices far beyond face value. Why? Because registry collectors compete. Because supply at the top is limited. Because demand for superb modern coins has grown dramatically among investors who understand population reports and conditional rarity. Let me ask you something powerful. Are you sitting on coins you've never had graded? Have you inherited jars of pennies from parents or grandparents? Have you ever wondered how to sell old rare coins in the USA and get maximum auction value instead of pawn shop prices? Are you leaving money on the table simply because you haven't looked closely enough? This is where fear and urgency step in. Every day, valuable coins are spent unknowingly. They're dropped into vending machines. They're rolled up and deposited at banks. They disappear back into circulation. The market rewards those who act, not those who delay. Condition deteriorates. Opportunities pass. And someone else profits, but you're not someone who ignores opportunity. Act 2 is about awakening. You start checking your 1987 pennies. You learn to tilt them under light. You look for doubling in the lettering. You check alignment. You inspect edges. You separate worn coins from sharply struck, glossy red examples. Suddenly, coin collecting transforms from a hobby into strategy. From nostalgia into financial awareness, you begin asking the right questions. How do I make money from coins? How do I sell old and rare coins in the USA safely? Should I use auction houses or local coin shops? What determines value in an auction setting? How do grading services impact final sale price? Here's the empowering truth: value is driven by condition, rarity, certification, and demand. If your 1987 no-mint mark penny is average and circulated, it may carry modest value. But if it's in elite mint state condition or displays a dramatic mint error, the premium can multiply dramatically. Professional grading through respected third-party services can authenticate and encapsulate your coin, protecting it while increasing buyer confidence. Confidence equals higher bids. Higher bids equal stronger results. Now let's interrupt the pattern for a moment. That if you're still thinking, it's just a penny, ask yourself this: how many times in history have people dismissed small beginnings? Every fortune starts with awareness. Every investment begins with a decision. And sometimes, yes, it begins with a coin most people ignore. Act 3 is about transformation. That you're no longer casually collecting. You're strategically evaluating. You research auction archives. You compare graded population reports. You understand the difference between brown, and full red copper designations. You protect your coins in proper holders. You avoid cleaning them, because cleaning destroys value instantly. And you position yourself as a smart seller, not a desperate one. When it comes time to sell, you don't rush. You consider major auction platforms known for competitive bidding. You evaluate reputable coin dealers with strong industry presence. You understand that presentation, certification, and timing influence results. A high-demand coin in a competitive auction environment can ignite excitement among collectors seeking registry upgrades, and here's the emotional connection that ties everything together, from pocket change to potential wealth. From overlooked to highly demanded. From ordinary to extraordinary. The 1987 no-mint mark Lincoln cent represents more than copper and zinc. It represents awareness. It represents possibility. It represents the idea that value often hides in plain sight. So ask yourself again. Have you checked your change lately? Have you searched through inherited coin collections? Do you know how to sell old rare coins properly instead of settling for quick cash? Are you prepared to turn knowledge into financial leverage, because the market rewards the informed? It rewards the patient. It rewards those who recognize that even modern coins can carry surprising premiums when condition and rarity align. And while not every 1987 penny will fund early retirement, the highest grade and error examples continue to demonstrate that modern coins can achieve impressive maximum market values when demand peaks. Serious collectors are watching. Registry sets are competitive. And pristine examples are not unlimited. What if I told you that a single penny, yes, a simple 1-cent coin, could quietly sit in your drawer right now and be worth far more than 1 cent? What if the next time you reach into your pocket, the loose change in your hand holds the key to a life-changing opportunity? Today, we're uncovering the powerful truth behind the 1989 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin that most people overlook, yet collectors search for every single day. And if you're between 30 and 65, living in the United States, holding on to jars of old coins, this message is especially for you. Because the difference between pocket change and serious money often comes down to knowledge. The 1989 Lincoln cent belongs to the long-running Lincoln series that began in 1909 under President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. By 1989, the coin was struck primarily in copper-plated zinc and produced in massive numbers at the United States Mint. A no-mint mark example means the coin was struck in Philadelphia, which traditionally did not display a mint mark on Lincoln cents during that period. Now here's where it gets interesting. While millions were made, not all 1989 pennies are equal. Certain era varieties and high-grade examples are in intense demand, and demand creates value. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually looked at your pennies? Not glanced. Looked. Examined the date. Checked the surface. Tilted it under light. Most people never do. That's why opportunity hides in plain sight. Act 1 begins with awareness. In 1989, standard pennies flooded the economy. But error coins, the rare misprints, the striking anomalies, the subtle double dies, the off-center strikes, and dramatic planchet mistakes, slipped into circulation. These weren't supposed to happen. Yet they did. And collectors pay premiums for mistakes because mistakes are rare. Imagine owning a 1989 no-mint mark penny with a strong double die on the obverse, where the date and lettering show clear duplication. Or an off-center strike that left part of Lincoln's portrait shifted dramatically. These are not ordinary coins. These are conversation pieces. These are auction magnets. Now pause for a second. If coins were perfect every time, would they be valuable? Of course not. Perfection is common. Error is rare. And rarity builds wealth. Act 2 is about discovery and urgency. Here's the emotional trigger most people ignore: fear of missing out. Somewhere in America, someone will check a jar tonight and find a coin worth hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars depending on grade and error strength. Why not you? High-grade uncirculated 1989 no-mint mark pennies, especially those graded mint state 67 or higher by top grading services, command impressive premiums. Combine pristine condition with a dramatic mint error, and the market reacts aggressively. Auction houses across the United States regularly see strong bidding for certified error coins. The reason is simple. Demand is global. Serious collectors are constantly upgrading their collections. And when a top-quality example appears, competition drives prices upward. That's the power of the auction environment. It transforms a 1-cent coin into a bidding war asset. Let me interrupt your thoughts with this question. What if the penny you're about to spend on coffee tomorrow is worth more than the coffee machine? Sounds dramatic. But that's exactly how hidden value works. Act 3 is transformation. This is where pocket change turns into strategy. You're not just someone with old coins. You're potentially holding inventory. The question becomes how to sell old rare coins in the USA and maximize their value in auction shops. The process is powerful when done correctly. First, identify condition. Second, verify errors. Third, consider professional grading. Certified coins attract serious buyers. They eliminate doubt and build trust. And trust equals higher bids. How do you sell old rare coins? You can approach reputable coin dealers, submit to major auction houses, or list certified examples on established numismatic marketplaces. The key is presentation and authentication. How to make money from coins? By understanding supply, demand, condition, and timing. By recognizing that collectors pay for quality, not quantity. One exceptional coin can outperform a jar of average ones. Here's another attention reset. If pennies were truly worthless, would collectors dedicate entire climate-controlled vaults to them? Would auctions spotlight them? Would grading services exist solely to evaluate them? Of course not. The 1989 no-mint mark Lincoln cent, especially in elite condition or with dramatic mint errors, continues to attract attention because it represents opportunity hidden in everyday life. And opportunity is magnetic. Many people search for million-dollar coins, but wealth often begins with smaller victories. A few $100s. A few thousand. Reinvested wisely. Knowledge compounding over time, from pocket change to millions, is not fantasy thinking. It's disciplined action. It starts with awareness. It continues with education. It accelerates with smart selling. Imagine walking into an auction preview, holding a certified high-grade 1989 error penny, knowing bidders are about to compete for what once sat unnoticed in circulation. That confidence changes posture. It changes mindset. It changes lifestyle, and let's connect this full circle. At the beginning, I asked you to imagine that a simple penny could be worth far more than 1 cent. Now you understand why. Not because every 1989 no-mint mark penny is rare, but because certain examples are. And the marketplace rewards those who recognize the difference. So ask yourself right now. Have you checked your change? Have you examined that old coin jar? Have you considered that the next auction highlight could come from your own home? The maximum market value for an exceptional 1989 no-mint mark Lincoln cent error in superb certified condition can reach into the high hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the strength of the error and grade, and demand remains strong among advanced collectors who compete for the finest known examples. What if I told you that a simple 1990 Lincoln cent, the kind that might still be hiding in your kitchen drawer or rolling around in your car's cup holder, could hold a story of rare error, collector obsession, and serious money? Before you dismiss that thought, ask yourself this: when was the last time you truly examined your pocket change? Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1990 no-mint mark Lincoln cent, a coin struck during the presidency of George H. W. Bush, and part of a series that began over a century ago under Abraham Lincoln himself. But this is not just about history. This is about opportunity. This is about turning overlooked copper into unexpected wealth. And if you're between 30 and 65, living in the United States, and thinking about how to sell old rare coins, how to make money from coins, how to transform pocket change into something life-changing, then this story is speaking directly to you. Act 1 begins with the ordinary. It's 1990. The United States Mint is producing billions of Lincoln cents for circulation. Most carry mint marks indicating their origin, such as D for Denver or S for San Francisco. But coins struck in Philadelphia traditionally carried no mint mark at all. So when we say 1990 no mint mark, we are typically referring to a Philadelphia issue. That sounds common, doesn't it? And in most cases, it is. Millions upon millions were struck. So where is the opportunity? Here's where the plot thickens. Within this sea of ordinary cents, there exist extraordinary examples. Error coins. Transitional anomalies. Proof coins without the expected S mint mark. Striking errors. Off-center strikes. Doubled dies. Imagine the shock of discovering that a coin everyone else ignores could actually be a rare proof without a mint mark, or a dramatic error that collectors fiercely compete for. Can you feel that spark of excitement? Now pause for a moment. Quick question. When you receive change at the grocery store, do you glance at the dates? Or do you toss it into a jar without thinking? What if one of those coins was a rare 1990 proof without the S mint mark, a variety that has stunned the numismatic community? Would you even know? Or would you spend it on a cup of coffee? That's the emotional turning point. Fear of missing out. The quiet anxiety that you might already have held something valuable and let it slip away. But here's the empowering truth: you can start today. You can learn what to look for. You can take control. In Act 2, we move into discovery and escalation. The 1990 Lincoln cent is composed primarily of zinc with a copper plating, weighing 2.5 grams. On the obverse, you see the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln. On the reverse, in 1990, you still see the Lincoln Memorial design, a classic look that ran from 1959 to 2008. But within certain proof sets, a small number of coins were struck without the expected S mint mark. These coins were never meant to exist in that form. That tiny missing letter transforms an ordinary proof into a legendary rarity. Collectors are not casual about such things. They are passionate. They are competitive. They pay premiums for authentication, condition, and true rarity. Coins graded in pristine condition by respected grading services can command astonishing sums at auction. And when demand meets rarity, prices climb. Dramatically, think about this. How many people in your city are casually carrying around 1990 pennies? Thousands. Tens of thousands. Now ask yourself, How many of them are carefully examining those coins under magnification, searching for doubling in the lettering, checking for die cracks, weighing them for anomalies? Very few. That gap between awareness and ignorance is where opportunity lives. Let me interrupt you with something light for a second. If pennies were people, most would be the quiet neighbor who never makes headlines. But once in a while, one becomes a celebrity. And when that happens, everyone suddenly says, "Wait. I had one of those." This is where urgency comes in. The market for rare error coins is driven by visibility and timing. Auctions across the United States showcase rare Lincoln cent errors, and serious collectors monitor them closely. If you're wondering how to sell old rare coins in the USA and understand their value in auction shops, the process begins with knowledge and verification. Authentication is critical. Professional grading provides credibility. Once certified, your coin becomes part of a recognized marketplace, whether through major auction houses, reputable coin dealers, or specialized online platforms focused on numismatics. And here's the empowering part. You do not need to be a lifelong collector to participate. You need curiosity. You need discipline. And you need action. From pocket change to millions is not a fantasy phrase. It is a mindset. It starts with examining what others overlook. Imagine sitting at your kitchen table tonight. A small lamp. A magnifying glass. A handful of 1990 pennies. Your heart beats a little faster as you inspect each one. You check for sharp, mirror-like proof surfaces. You look for the absence of an S mint mark on a coin that clearly has proof characteristics. You examine the lettering for doubling. You rotate the coin, searching for striking errors. Every coin becomes a possibility. Now ask yourself another question. If you discovered a rare 1990 no mint mark proof error worth thousands, would you know how to sell it? Would you contact a local coin shop? Would you research major auction results? Would you compare recent sale prices? Or would you hesitate and let doubt take over? Act 3 is about resolution and empowerment. You move from curiosity to strategy. First, you confirm authenticity through a respected grading service. Once graded, your coin enters a transparent market. Auction platforms often generate competitive bidding, especially for well-publicized error varieties. Coin shops can provide immediate liquidity. Private collectors sometimes pay premiums for coins that complete their sets. The maximum market value for a truly rare, authenticated 1990 proof without mint mark error in exceptional condition can reach astonishing levels, depending on grade and demand at the time of sale. High-grade examples of major mint errors have achieved tens of thousands of dollars in the right auction environment. That is not pocket change. That is leverage. That is possibility, but here is the deeper connection, the thread tying everything together. This is not only about one coin. It is about awareness. It is about shifting your perspective from consumer to investor. Every time you handle change, you are holding history. Every time you research a coin, you are building knowledge that compounds over time. Let me ask you something powerful. What if your next financial breakthrough is not in a risky stock, not in a complex business venture, but in the discipline of paying attention? What if wealth begins with observation? There is high demand in the collector community for genuine, rare errors. The key is authenticity, condition, and timing. When you understand how to sell old and rare coins, how to approach auction shops, how to present graded pieces to serious buyers, you move from uncertainty to authority. You become informed. You become strategic. And that confidence changes how you approach every opportunity. So tonight, before you dismiss another penny, pause. Look at the date. Look for the mint mark. Ask yourself, could this be more than 1 cent? Could this be a hidden story waiting to be told? Could this be your entry point from pocket changes to something far greater? What if I told you that a single penny, yes, a humble 1-cent coin, could quietly be sitting in your drawer, your old coffee tin, or even mixed into your pocket change, and be worth far more than 1 cent? What if the year 1994, a year many of us remember clearly, is hiding an overlooked opportunity in plain sight. Today we're talking about the 1994 Lincoln 1-cent penny with no mint mark, a coin that millions have handled, but only a few have truly examined. Take a breath and think about this. How many pennies have you ignored in your lifetime? Hundreds? Thousands? What if just one of them could change how you look at money forever? The 1994 Lincoln cent features the iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, and struck by the United States Mint. On coins from 1994, a missing mint mark doesn't automatically mean an error, because pennies struck at the Philadelphia Mint traditionally carried no mint mark. But here is where things get interesting. Within that massive production, certain rare varieties and error coins exist: off-center strikes, double dies, broad strikes, clipped planchets, and other minting anomalies that can transform an ordinary 1994 no mint mark penny into a highly sought-after collectible. Now pause for a second. Have you ever actually checked your 1994 pennies under magnification? Or are they sitting somewhere right now, unnoticed? Let's build this story properly. Act 1 is awareness. In 1994, billions of Lincoln cents were produced. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 6.5 billion pennies that year. On the surface, that sounds like there is no scarcity. But scarcity in coin collecting does not only come from low mintage. It comes from condition and error. A 1994 no mint mark penny in average circulated condition is worth face value. But in pristine uncirculated condition, especially graded MS67 or higher by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, values can rise dramatically. Add a significant mint error, and suddenly collectors compete. Imagine a 1994 Lincoln cent with a strong double die on the obverse, where the inscriptions appear slightly doubled. Or a dramatic off-center strike where part of Lincoln's portrait is shifted. Or a broad strike error where the coin lacks a proper rim. These are not fantasies. These are documented mint errors that collectors aggressively pursue, and here's the emotional trigger: most people spend them without looking. How many opportunities have already slipped through your fingers? Act 2 is discovery. This is where excitement builds. Picture yourself opening a small box of old coins collected over decades. Maybe they belonged to your parents. Maybe they came from years of saving spare change. You separate the pennies by date. You see 1994. No mint mark. You look closer, you grab a magnifying glass. You examine the word Liberty. You check "In God We Trust." You inspect the date for doubling. You tilt the coin under light to detect unusual strike characteristics. You check the edges. You weigh it. Standard 1994 pennies are copper-plated zinc and weigh 2.5 grams. Anything significantly off in weight could indicate a planchet error. Now let me ask you something directly. Do you know how to sell old rare coins? Do you know how to sell coins in a way that maximizes value instead of leaving money on the table? Are you aware of how to make money from coins legally and intelligently in the United States? From pocket change to millions, is that just a dream, or could it be a strategy? The truth is, collectors and investors are constantly searching for high-grade examples and dramatic errors. Auction platforms, coin shows, and professional dealers are all active marketplaces. A certified high-grade 1994 no mint mark penny with a significant error can command hundreds, sometimes thousands of dollars depending on the severity and demand. The maximum market value always depends on condition, rarity of the specific error, and competitive bidding at auction. In heated auctions, prices can surge far beyond standard price guide estimates, and here's the urgency. The coin market moves in cycles. When demand spikes, prices rise. When media attention increases, competition grows. The people who act early benefit most, but wait, quick question to reset your focus. When was the last time you actually searched your own house for coins? Not just glanced, but searched like a treasure hunter. If the answer is never, then why not today? Act 3 is action and transformation. This is where your mindset shifts from curiosity to opportunity. If you believe wealth only comes from complex investments, think again. Many collectors began with curiosity. They learned grading standards. They studied error types. They sent coins for professional authentication. They attended auctions. They built relationships with dealers. They treated coins not as loose change, but as assets. So how do you sell old and rare coins in the USA and get real auction value? First, authentication is power. A coin graded and encapsulated by a reputable grading service commands trust. Second, research recent auction results, not just price guides. Third, consider major auction houses or reputable online platforms where competitive bidding can drive up the final price. Fourth, timing matters. Selling during strong collector demand can dramatically increase your returns. Let's connect this to your bigger dream. You're between 30 and 65. You've worked hard. You understand the value of money. You want assets that appreciate. You want to live comfortably, maybe even luxuriously. Coins are tangible. They are historical. They are limited. And certain era coins, even from modern years like 1994, can surprise the market. Fear can either paralyze you or push you. The fear here is simple: what if you overlook something valuable? What if someone else finds it first? But excitement is stronger. The excitement of discovery. The thrill of authentication. The rush of an auction climbing higher and higher. Can you imagine watching bids rise in real time? Can you imagine realizing that a coin you once considered ordinary is now drawing national attention from collectors? This is not about fantasy. This is about awareness and action. Check your coins. Learn the difference between common and rare varieties. Protect high-grade examples. Handle them properly. Store them correctly. And when you are ready, enter the marketplace strategically. From pocket change to millions is not a slogan. It is a mindset shift. It begins with observation. It grows with knowledge. It accelerates with bold action. The 1994 no-mint Mark Lincoln cent is a reminder that value is often hidden in plain sight. Billions were made. Few were preserved perfectly. Even fewer contain dramatic errors. And those few are where opportunity lives. So tonight, before you relax, open that drawer. Pour out that jar. Separate your pennies. Ask yourself powerful questions. How to sell old rare coins effectively. How to sell coins for maximum value. How to make money from coins intelligently. How to turn simple pocket change into a meaningful financial asset. Imagine this. You're standing in your kitchen late at night. The house is quiet. You empty your pocket change onto the counter, not expecting anything unusual. Pennies roll across the surface, copper and zinc flashing under the light. And then you notice it. A 2006 D. Lincoln 1-cent penny. Just another coin, or is it? What if I told you that one small detail on that coin could mean the difference between 1 cent and thousands of dollars? What if the coin you've ignored for years is the very thing that could change your financial future? Today, we're diving deep into the 2006 D. Mint Mark Lincoln penny, struck at the legendary Denver Mint, and why certain era versions of this modern coin are commanding serious attention in today's market. This isn't hype. This is about awareness. Because in the world of rare coins, knowledge is leverage. And leverage can turn pocket change into powerful opportunity. The 2006 D. Lincoln cent was issued by the United States Mint during a period when billions of pennies were produced. On the surface, it seems common. It features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Most people see it as ordinary. But seasoned collectors know something powerful: even ordinary coins can hide extraordinary mistakes. And in numismatics, mistakes equal money. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually examined your change? Not glanced at it. Examined it. Looked at the date. Checked the mint mark. Tilted it under light to inspect the lettering. Because within the 2006 D. Lincoln penny series, there are coins with striking errors, die varieties, and mint anomalies that transform them from everyday currency into sought-after collectibles. That we're talking about off-center strikes where the design is dramatically misaligned. We're talking about double die errors where the lettering appears shadowed or doubled. We're talking about clipped planchets, die cracks, and even broad strikes that escaped quality control at the Denver Mint. These are not fantasies. These are documented mint errors that collectors actively hunt, and here's where it gets exciting. Error coins create scarcity within abundance. Billions of 2006 pennies were struck, yes. But only a microscopic fraction contain dramatic, visible errors. Scarcity drives demand. Demand drives price. And price creates opportunity. Right now, in today's market, high-grade 2060 Lincoln penny error coins have reached maximum realized prices in the thousands of dollars depending on the severity and uniqueness of the error. Dramatic off-center strikes with full visible dates can command premium offers. Strong double die varieties in mint state condition are bringing aggressive bids. The current market ceiling for exceptional examples has reached the maximum dollar levels collectors are willing to pay for standout specimens. Now pause for a second. If you found one of these in your coin jar tomorrow, would you recognize it? Or would you spend it on coffee? This is where urgency comes in. Every year, rare error coins are accidentally spent, lost, or damaged because people simply don't know what they have. That's not just unfortunate. That's expensive. And I don't want that to be you. Think about your goals. Many of you watching are between 30 and 65 years old. You've worked hard. You're thinking about retirement. You're thinking about building wealth, protecting assets, maybe even leaving something meaningful behind. What if part of that strategy is already sitting in your drawers, piggy banks, or inherited collections? Let's talk about how to sell old rare coins. Because finding one is only half the journey. The real transformation happens when you convert knowledge into action. First, authentication matters. A professional grading service can verify and encapsulate your coin, confirming its authenticity and condition. In the United States, major third-party grading companies set the standard for market trust. When a coin is graded and certified, buyers pay more because risk drops. Next comes visibility. How to sell old and rare coins in the USA and its value in auction shop environments depends heavily on exposure. High-demand error coins perform best in competitive auction settings where multiple bidders drive the price upward. The psychology of auction bidding is powerful. Two determined collectors can push a coin far beyond its starting value. That's how records are set. That's how maximum dollar levels are achieved. But let's reset for a moment. Quick question. Have you ever thrown spare change into a jar and thought, I'll deal with that later? Later might be costing you money. Now back to strategy. How to make money from coins isn't about luck. It's about pattern recognition. It's about understanding that mint errors are anomalies in a controlled industrial process. When something mechanical goes wrong during production, that mistake becomes a collectible event frozen in metal. And collectors pay for events. The 2060 penny errors that bring strong premiums often share three traits: visible error impact, strong eye appeal, and high grade. If the error is dramatic and the coin remains in mint state condition, the market responds. Collectors want clean surfaces, sharp details, and bold anomalies. Combine those, and you create a recipe for serious demand. Let's connect this to something bigger. From pocket changes to millions sounds dramatic, doesn't it? But history proves that rare coins have financed homes, educations, and retirements. Entire fortunes in numismatic history began with a single discovery. The key difference between those who profit and those who don't is awareness followed by decisive action. Here's another question for you. How to sell old rare coins without being taken advantage of? The answer is preparation. Research recent auction results. Compare similar certified error coins. Understand grading scales. When you walk into a coin shop informed, you negotiate from strength. And strength commands respect, and yes, reputable auction houses, specialized coin dealers, and online auction platforms are all avenues. But the highest realized prices typically occur when rarity meets competitive bidding. That's why presentation and timing matter. When the market is hot for Lincoln cent errors, that is when sellers see peak offers. Let's bring the emotion back into this. Imagine discovering that one small copper coin in your possession is worth more than a month's salary. Imagine the relief. The excitement. The validation that your attention to detail paid off. Now imagine the regret if you never looked. The 2060 Lincoln penny might seem modern, but modern errors are increasingly popular. Many collectors appreciate that they are affordable entry points compared to 19th century rarities. That growing collector base fuels demand. And when demand rises, maximum dollar levels follow. So how to sell coins effectively? Start by sorting and examining every 2060 penny you own. Use magnification. Look for doubling in the lettering of "In God We Trust" and "Liberty." Check for off-center strikes where part of the design is missing. Inspect the rim for irregularities. If you suspect an error, protect the coin immediately in a non-PVC holder. Condition preservation is critical, then consult a reputable numismatic professional. Authentication creates credibility. Credibility attracts serious buyers. Serious buyers create strong offers. Let me ask you one final thing. If wealth could be hiding in plain sight, would you ignore it? This is not about fantasy. It's about discipline. It's about recognizing that opportunities often appear small before they become significant. A 1-cent coin. A tiny mint mark from Denver. A subtle doubling. A slight misalignment. These are small details. But in the collector world, small details can command maximum dollar market values when rarity, condition, and demand align, and here's the powerful connection that ties everything together. The same mindset required to identify a valuable 2060 Lincoln penny error is the same mindset that builds financial success, attention, patience, education, and decisive action. When you train yourself to notice what others overlook, you position yourself ahead of the crowd. So tonight, don't just watch this and move on. Open the drawer. Check the jar. Examine the coins. Ask yourself, how to make money from coins. How to sell old and rare coins in USA markets for top value. How to turn pocket change into a strategic asset. Imagine reaching into your pocket tonight, pulling out a simple penny, and realizing that tiny copper coin could be worth more than your monthly mortgage. What if I told you that an ordinary-looking 2013 Lincoln 1-cent coin, the kind most people ignore at the grocery store, has shocked collectors with error versions selling for astonishing amounts? Before you dismiss it, ask yourself this: when was the last time you truly examined your pocket change? Today we're talking about the 2013 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny from the United States of America. A modern coin. A recent coin. A coin millions have handled without a second thought. And yet, in the right condition, with the right error, it can command powerful attention in today's collector market. This isn't about fantasy. This is about awareness. This is about knowing what others overlook. Act 1 begins with recognition. The 2013 Lincoln cent, issued by the United States Mint, features the enduring portrait of Abraham Lincoln, originally designed by Victor David Brenner. Since 2010, the reverse design has displayed the Union Shield, symbolizing Lincoln's preservation of the United States as a single nation. If your coin has no mint mark beneath the date, it means it was struck in Philadelphia. And here's where people get confused. No mint mark is normal for Philadelphia issues in many modern years. So why would a 2013 penny without a mint mark ever be valuable? Because condition and errors change everything. Most 2013 pennies are worth 1 cent. That's the truth. But collectors don't pay premiums for average. They pay for exceptional. They pay for rarity. They pay for perfection. A 2013 no-mint mark penny graded in near-perfect or perfect mint state condition by professional grading services can command strong 3-figure prices. And if a dramatic mint error is present, such as a double die, off-center strike, broad strike, or major die crack, the value can rise significantly higher depending on appeal and certification. Now let me ask you something that might make you laugh. When you get change at the gas station, do you toss the pennies into your car cup holder and forget about them? Of course you do. Most people do. That casual habit is exactly why opportunity exists. Because while others overlook, you are learning to observe. Act 2 is where excitement builds. The coin market in the United States has matured into a sophisticated, high-demand ecosystem. Auction houses, online marketplaces, certified dealers, and coin shows operate daily. Collectors aged 30 to 65, especially those planning retirement or building alternative investments, are actively seeking error coins and high-grade modern issues. Why? Because modern error coins are harder to find than most people think. Strict quality control at the United States Mint means genuine dramatic errors are scarce, and scarcity fuels value. Picture this scenario. You discover a 2013 no-mint Mark Lincoln cent in pristine condition. No scratches. Full red luster. Razor-sharp strike. You submit it to a top-tier grading service. It returns with a high mint state grade. Suddenly, that humble penny transforms into a collectible asset. Buyers compete. Bidding climbs. The emotional shift from pocket change to premium collectible is real, but here's where urgency enters the story. Counterfeits exist. Misidentified coins flood online listings. Overconfidence can cost you money. So ask yourself, how do I sell old rare coins safely? How do I sell coins in the USA without being underpaid? How do I make money from coins instead of losing it? How do I turn pocket change into serious financial opportunity? The answer begins with knowledge and verification. First, examine your coin carefully under magnification. Look for doubling in the lettering, especially around Liberty and In God We Trust. Check for unusual thickness, off-center designs, or raised cracks running across the surface. Weigh the coin. Standard 2013 Lincoln cents are copper-plated zinc and weigh about 2.5 grams. Any major deviation could signal something unusual. If you suspect a significant error, professional grading is not optional, it is essential. Here's a quick reset question to keep you sharp. If a coin dealer offers you $5 for your coin without examining it closely, do you accept? Or do you pause and think, what might they know that I don't? That pause could be the difference between a small sale and a strategic decision. Now let's talk about selling. How do you sell old and rare coins in the USA for maximum value? Auction houses remain one of the strongest platforms for rare error coins, especially when demand is competitive. Certified coins often perform best in transparent bidding environments. Coin shops offer convenience and speed, but auctions offer exposure and competitive pricing. Online platforms can work if your coin is certified and photographed professionally. The key is credibility. Buyers aged 30 to 65 value trust, documentation, and authentication. Imagine the headline in your own life story, from pocket change to financial leverage. It sounds dramatic, but many collectors started exactly that way. A single discovery sparked curiosity. Curiosity became study. Study became strategy. Strategy became profit. Act 3 brings it all together. This isn't just about a 2013 penny. It's about awareness, discipline, and action. The modern coin market rewards those who act with urgency but sell with patience. High-grade 2013 no-mint Mark Lincoln cents with verified errors have reached impressive 3, and even 4-figure results in strong markets. The maximum dollar value depends on grade, rarity of the error, and buyer competition at the time of sale. Condition and certification create leverage. Timing creates momentum. So let me ask you directly. How many pennies are sitting in jars in your home right now? How many coin rolls have never been opened? How many inheritances, estate boxes, or forgotten drawers hold overlooked pieces? And most importantly, how would it feel to discover that something ordinary has extraordinary potential? The demand for error coins remains active. Serious collectors continue searching. Retirement-minded investors diversify. Precious metals fluctuate. Stock markets shift. But tangible collectibles with documented rarity maintain a powerful psychological appeal. Owning something rare feels different. Selling something rare feels empowering. There is also fear in this equation. Fear of missing out. Fear of selling too soon. Fear of overlooking a valuable error. Use that fear wisely. Let it motivate you to research, to verify, to consult reputable dealers, to compare auction results, to protect your asset before releasing it into the market. Excitement without knowledge creates mistakes. Knowledge combined with urgency creates opportunity. The 2013 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny represents a modern reminder that value is not always ancient. Sometimes it is recent. Sometimes it is still circulating. Sometimes it is resting quietly in your change jar tonight. And here's the final connection that ties everything together. The same discipline you use to examine a penny, attention to detail, patience, strategic thinking, is the discipline that builds wealth in any area of life. Coins are not just metal. They are lessons in awareness. So start tonight. Check your change. Separate your 2013 pennies. Examine them carefully. Ask the right questions. How do I sell old rare coins wisely? How do I protect myself from low offers? How do I turn small discoveries into larger financial momentum? The answers begin with action. Imagine reaching into your pocket tonight, pulling out a simple penny, and discovering it could be worth more than your monthly mortgage, maybe more than your annual salary. It sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? But what if I told you that a 2016 Lincoln 1-cent coin, the kind millions of Americans overlook every single day, could hold a powerful secret? What if the difference between 1 cent and a life-changing payday is just a tiny detail most people never notice? Today we're talking about the 2016 Lincoln 1-cent penny with no mint mark, issued by the United States Mint. And before you think, I've seen thousands of those, pause for a moment. Because this is not just about an ordinary penny. This is about rare era varieties, collector demand, and how a small copper-plated coin can command serious money in today's market. Let's begin with the first act of our story, discovery. In 2016, the Philadelphia Mint struck billions of Lincoln cents. Coins from Philadelphia traditionally do not carry a mint mark, unlike those from Denver with a D or San Francisco with an S. So at first glance, a 2016 penny with no mint mark seems completely normal. It feels common, familiar, harmless. But here's where things get interesting. What if that coin has a dramatic error? What if it has a major off-center strike, a bold double die obverse, a missing clad layer exposing raw zinc, or a broad strike that escaped quality control? Suddenly, you are not holding a penny. You are holding a mistake. And in the coin world, mistakes are money. Collectors love errors because they are accidental, unpredictable, and scarce. A genuine 2016 no-mint mark penny with a strong double die can show visible doubling in the date or in the word Liberty. An off-center strike of 20 to 50% with a full visible date can attract fierce bidding. A dramatic die crack running like lightning across Abraham Lincoln's portrait can transform an ordinary coin into a conversation piece. And when rarity meets demand, prices rise. Now here's the emotional twist. Most people spend these coins without a second thought. They toss them in jars. They feed them into vending machines. They roll them for the bank. And somewhere out there, someone unknowingly lets go of a coin worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars. Could that someone be you? This is where excitement and urgency meet opportunity. The 2016 cent features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, a design that has endured since 1909. On the reverse, you'll see the Union Shield, symbolizing national unity. Billions were made, yes. But error coins? Those are a different story entirely. Only a tiny fraction escape with significant, collectible flaws. And serious collectors actively search for them. In recent years, high-grade 2016 no-mint mark error pennies have sold for impressive sums in online auctions and major coin marketplaces. Depending on the severity and authenticity of the error, prices can range from hundreds of dollars to several thousand. The maximum dollar results often come when the coin is certified by respected grading companies and placed in competitive auctions where collectors battle to win. Let me ask you something important. Have you checked your change this week? Have you examined the pennies sitting in your kitchen drawer? Have you looked at the 2016 coins hiding in your car's cup holder? What if the coin that could change your financial story is already in your home? Now we enter the second act, realization. You begin to look closer. You grab a magnifying glass. You tilt the coin under light. You compare letters. You notice something unusual. The date looks slightly doubled. The rim looks uneven. The strike looks misaligned. Your heart beats a little faster. Could this be real? This is the moment when knowledge becomes power. Understanding how to identify real mint errors separates successful sellers from disappointed dreamers. Not every odd-looking coin is valuable. Damage after leaving the mint is not the same as a genuine mint error. But when you learn the difference, you step into a new world, and here comes a pattern interrupt for you. If you've ever ignored a penny on the sidewalk, thinking it wasn't worth bending down for, you might want to start stretching those back muscles. Because sometimes that 1 cent is the most powerful coin you'll ever pick up. Now let's talk about the big question on your mind. How do you sell old rare coins? How do you start selling coins the right way? How do you make money from coins and turn pocket change into serious wealth? First, you confirm authenticity. Professional grading from major third-party services increases trust and market value. Buyers pay more when they see official certification. It removes doubt and builds competition. Second, you choose your selling platform wisely. Should you sell at a local coin shop? Should you approach a major auction house? Should you list online? Each path has strategy behind it. Local dealers offer speed and convenience. Auctions offer exposure and bidding wars. Online platforms offer access to national buyers. The key is positioning your coin where demand is highest. How to sell old and rare coins in the USA and get maximum value in auction shops. Presentation and timing matter. Clear photos. Accurate descriptions. Verified grading. And launching your coin when collector interest is strong. When two collectors both want the same rare 2016 error penny, the price climbs quickly. Imagine this scene. Your coin is listed. Bidding starts modestly. Then another bid appears. Then another. Notifications start lighting up. What was once a penny now has crossed into triple digits. Then 4 digits. Excitement builds. And you realize something powerful. You saw value where others saw nothing. Now we enter the final act, transformation. This is not just about one coin. This is about a mindset shift. It's about understanding that wealth can hide in ordinary places. It's about educating yourself in a market where knowledge creates leverage. It's about refusing to overlook opportunity. From pocket changes to millions is not just a catchy phrase. Across American history, rare coins have funded businesses, paid off homes, and created generational wealth. While not every 2016 penny will be worth a fortune, the right error, in the right condition, in the right marketplace, can command maximum dollar results that surprise even seasoned collectors. So ask yourself again. Have you truly checked your coins? Have you researched the errors? Have you learned how to sell coins strategically? Or are you still letting opportunity slip quietly through your fingers?